Video 1, aluminum cans, folks. Here we go. Okay, I've noticed a lot of you guys have been subscribing, so here's my end of the deal. Aluminum cans, first video. Aluminum cans are also known as UBC. What is UBC, you ask? UBCs are used beverage containers, is what that stands for in the junk industry. Sorry about the light here, trying to kind of get my audio, all that kind of stuff, so bear with me here. Okay, when you get into aluminum cans, the best way to buy aluminum cans is by separating. Separators, if you get into recycling industry, it's a simple Google search. Just search like aluminum can conveyors, aluminum can separators, stuff like that. That's going to get you into the equipment, showing you kind of the different equipment that's available and such. Now, when you get into aluminum cans, you have the potential of blowing the aluminum cans, which is, they call it blowing, and what that is they have what's called an aluminum can blower. Now, what an aluminum can blower is, it's a great big machine. It's got a hopper up on top. It's got wheels in the inside. You dump the aluminum cans in, they go up a conveyor. There's a magnetic separator. What a magnetic separator is when the cans go up to the top on the conveyor system, and it goes like that and goes to dump them in to be weighed. Okay, there's a magnet on the inside of that round spool there. Okay, what that's going to do is if you accidentally throw, say, a vegetable can, something like that, that's not aluminum, it's got a magnet in there. So as that goes up, what that's going to do is those rollers on the inside, aluminum is very, very, very plausible of a material, meaning that it's easy to compact, it's easy to crush. You know, you get the gist of it. Okay, when they do stuff like that, the reason that aluminum has to be different from steel, and I'll get into more of this on another video, but the difference between ferrous material and non-ferrous material. Okay, if you're going to start a recycle center or a junkyard, anything to that nature, the first thing that you need to do, decide, do you want to possibly get ripped off on a daily basis? Now, what do I mean by this? Okay. If you open up a recycle center and you get what they call a platform scale. A platform scale is available at probably right around 99% of the scrapyards, recycle centers around. The platform scales are kind of for smaller type recycle centers and such, because if they don't have a lot of room, that's going to be one stipulation, because if you have a place to be able to take aluminum cans, scrap aluminum, anything like that, well, just and good. Once you start getting popular and once you start getting to where people know where you are and, you know, and such like that, just like any business, it's going to take off. What's going to happen? If you got a small location, you're going to run out of room, right? That's why junkyards and scrapyards, have you ever noticed that they got great big fences and they stack the cars and they stack all the stuff way up? You know why they do that? They're watching the futures. They can actually, most junkyards, I can't guarantee every one of them this way, but most junkyards, if they are big enough to where they're stockpiling, say, you know, a couple hundred cars at a time, what they're doing is they're filling contracts. How does that work? Well, when you fill a contract, you work directly with a broker, dealer, whatever you want to call them. Okay, what is a dealer? A dealer is going to be the person that has a scrapyard, recycle center, anything. They are going to be the ones that are going to be able to buy from you. They're going to be the ones selling directly into what they call the factories, the manufacturers and such. I'll get into more of that, you know, with some more subscriptions and everything. But I did want to take some time and explain to you guys. The aluminum cans are the best and most recognizable type of aluminum, because what you have is you have aluminum, you have extrusion aluminum, old sheet aluminum, old cast, new cast, die cast. Die cast is going to be like your Hot Wheels cars, stuff like that. If you notice on the stuff, you know how to tell the difference? I'm going to tell you. Die cast is going to be extremely, extremely precise. Now, what I mean by that, if you look at a piece of die cast, you flip it over, look at the intricate details to it. That's not uncast, is it? If you take, let me give you an example. Picture an RC or a Hot Wheels car. Everybody's seen one of those. How precise and intricate the details from the horn to the wheels. You get the drift. Okay. Now, that would be die cast. So precise, not a whole lot. There's more weight to die cast than there is regular cast. And what they do is they put it into a die cast. Okay, when you get into cast aluminum, what's cast aluminum? Cast aluminum is basically an alloy that they have that they can melt down and get the impurities and such like that. Just like an aluminum can. That's why they recycle the stuff. It is so much cheaper to buy the material from, recycle centers, scrapyards, anything like that. It's so much easier to do it that way. There's tons and tons and tons of tricks, insides, all that kind of stuff. That's what I'm here for, folks. I've got right around, I said in the last video, I'm trying to be more clear on my facts and stuff. I think I've got right around 15 years in a family business and total scrapping, stuff like that. I've got a little over 20 years on it. Yes, I look younger than I am, believe me. But the biggest thing that I want to let you guys know is every single business, whether it's a recycle center, junkyard, anything, what you need to understand, every single business that you get into is going to be extremely competitive. You've got big yards, you've got big recycle centers, everything. They didn't get that big by being dumb, did they? What you need to do, learn all the information you can. Knowledge is power. So if you watch these videos and, listen to what I'm talking about, I invite you to do the research against my facts. See how good on facts I really am. I say I can pretty much identify any metal from aluminum to zinc, which is A to Z, aluminum, brass, copper, stainless steel, you get the drift. When you get into some tricky alloys. Now, what do I mean by tricky alloys? Stainless steel and non-magnetic stainless steel. Manganese, bronze, stuff like that. I'll get more into that in a video down the road. But you ask, what's the difference between stainless steel? I'm going to tell you. In stainless steel, you have two alloys. You have magnetic stainless, which has a tin alloy. That's why the magnet sticks to it. Just like a ground rod, anything else. That would actually be copper clad, like a ground rod, stuff for heavy duty electrical, stuff like that. Okay? So, if you have the different materials and you know what you have and you can actually sit there and look at the stuff and just watch these videos, learn, and, maybe you guys can pick up a few things. And all I want you guys to do is get the most money for your material. And if I can help you guys out by identifying, giving you guys tricks, there's all kinds of tricks. There's all kinds of, I want to say wording as far as different alloys, different stuff like that. What do I mean by that? Okay. Say you have an old screen door. Okay. Aluminum screen door right off your house. It's got screws, stuff like that. You look at that piece of material, what is it? Looks like a piece of junk, doesn't it? It's got screws, it's got, all kinds of foreign materials on it. Maybe even, board in the inside, or something, if it's a cheaper one. What do you do to that? First off, you're going to take a magnet, run a magnet all over everything. Look in the corners. Up in the top corners where the door is, you should have a little triangle piece about like that, and then sticking up in the corner. If I'm remembering correctly, on each one there should be 2 screws on the outside, 2 screws on the top. Holds 4 screws to hold a corner in. That right there would downgrade your material from being clean extrusion down to irony extrusion. Why? It's got the iron on it. So if you take the time and you take that into the junkyard the way it is, they're more than likely going to buy it as breakage. Now, what's breakage? Breakage would mean that it would drop down to right around 8 to 10 cents a pound in most cases. Most buyers would buy it like that. Now, if you take the time, don't have anything to do on a Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, you're just bored, you take a screw gun or a screwdriver, you pull them screws out and everything, guess what? Ran a magnet on it, no steel, no screws, nothing. Your material just went up to clean extrusions. Did you know that you can take clean extrusions and you can actually check with different places, and some places will actually pay you more if the stuff is clean? Why, you ask? Well, here's why. Remember what I told you about junkyards, that they're in to make the money, they're in to get the stuff in, get it processed as fast as possible, get it back on the road before the price would drop or, they lose their money on it? That's why. If you take the time to clean your material and do it the right way and really take your time and really, really try your hardest on it, your money just went from being 8 cents to right around, probably around 40, 50 cents a pound. Makes sense, don't it? And all that for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 screws? Pretty easy. 10 screws for 50 cents extra a pound. Makes sense. All right. Well, this was the aluminum can video. Again, this is something I want to kind of touch base on. Okay? Aluminum cans. There's no wives' tale that says that if a smash can as opposed to a whole can weighs more. Wives' tale, folks. Wives' tale. A can is a can is a can is a can. Okay? If it's size, anything else, that would, be technical difference. I know there's probably somebody out there watching, well, he said this. Well, I'm going to explain to you guys, okay? Now, if you have, say, aluminum beer bottles, okay? Aluminum beer bottles, there's usually around, when I got out of the recycling, there was right around 12 aluminum beer bottles to a pound, okay? You take those same 12 beer bottles, aluminum beer bottles, put those next to aluminum cans, yes, you're going to have more aluminum weight, and yes, you're going to have, because you have more of the material in there, because obviously the aluminum is thicker in the bottles and such. So, I think I kind of touched base with this in the last video. I'm having a little bit of problem with my software and everything, so if I repeat myself, I want to tell you guys I'm sorry. But I'm going to try and do video by video and telling you guys, exactly how to do this and everything. Your best thing, here's a couple of pointers. If you live in a high-rise, you live somewhere where you live around a bunch of people, you're worried about saving cans and you're worried about bugs. Best thing to do. Just wash out your cans, step on them, flatten them, put them in a bag, keep them in your car trunk, put them out by your shed, whichever. What that's going to do when you rinse out the stuff, it's not going to be attractive to bugs anymore. You know why? The sugar. You wash the sugar out and clean the sugar out. If it's beer, if it's pop, whatever it is. You wash the stuff out, there's nothing to attract the bugs. Saves you a mess, right? Alright, best thing to do, if you're getting into recycling, you're getting into scrap metal, anything like that, watch weight. You're going to want to take as much weight in on the load as possible. More weight, the more money you get, right? Okay, with aluminum cans, here's a big kind of trick here. With aluminum cans, okay, everybody wants to get the most money for their aluminum cans, right? Right. All right. If you want to make the most money out of your aluminum cans, what's the secret? Do what I do. I save my aluminum cans, I smash them, I save them in bags, and what I do is I stockpile. I'll get maybe around 3 to maybe about 5 bags of aluminum cans. That's, my big stockpile. And what I'll do is just kind of, put behind my garage or something like that. Just wait, for the prices to go up. Watch the markets. Watch the scrap yards. I'll explain more in another video, but just when you guys are driving around looking at these junkyards, looking at these recycle centers, stuff like that, take notice. Watch how they're doing stuff. You're going to be able to learn a lot, and I'll explain that to you guys in the upcoming videos. But just, like I say, just keep an eye on them and just kind of Keep an eye how they run. Do they shred their cars? Do they shred their material? Do they bale their material? Do they just load it up on a trailer, throw a chain over a car and haul it? How are they doing it? You're going to be able to tell a lot. And I'm going to show you how to tell exactly how big and if you're selling to the right place, because there is a scrap metal network. You have to be really good to get into it, and it is pretty top secret because obviously the scrap yards, recycle centers, stuff like that don't want you to know. Here's a big secret. They're all connected in the network. Every scrapyard, every recycle center, everything is all connected in. They're all talking to each other. They're all letting each other know what the futures are looking like, everything else. The reason that I got out of the business, and this is honest, the reason that I got out of the business is because when you go into a business, you're in there to make money, right? Okay. When I started buying aluminum cans, everything was going awesome, everything else. Because I had a loving, supporting family that had my back, everything else, and we were going to do it, together as a teamwork, everything else. Well, what happened is market trends can kind of tumble, stuff like that. So, what do you do if you've got money at risk, and if you're looking at, say, a pile of material, stuff like that? Are you going to want to go out and spend, say, 10, 20, 30,000 on a pile of steel, and then you bought that at, just pick a random figure, you bought that at $50, $100 a ton, whatever? You've got to be able to load that up, separate that how you want to separate it to get the most money out of it, and then you've got to be able to take that and cash it in without losing money. And sometimes it can get really, really, really complicated in it, because and I'm not saying anything bad, on scrapyards, nothing like that. But what I am saying is mistakes happen, okay? So if you've got head guys watching the futures and stuff like that, if you're not watching the futures, you're buying aluminum and you're buying all the stuff in the dark, right? You got to know your research, and that's what I'm going to show you. So, without further ado, what did we cover in this video? Smash your aluminum cans, wash them out. Walmart bags, whole cans are going to weigh roughly, as of a couple years ago when I was weighing them, Walmart bags are going to weigh about a half pound to a pound, maybe a pound and a half piece if they're smashed, but right around a half pound piece whole. 13-gallon garbage bags are going to weigh right around 5 to probably around 3 to about 8 pounds or so, depending on depending on if you smash them, exactly what the cans are. Because if you smash them, you can get more in the container, more on the load, more money, right? Makes sense. The 55-gallon garbage bags, I have personally seen those. Whole cans, I've seen them weigh about 30 pounds a piece. Smashed in the 55-gallon contractor bags, I've seen those weigh anywhere from 80 to 120 pounds a piece. So if you get, just, rough math here, if you get five 55-gallon garbage bags, and they're weighing, 100 pounds a piece, that's 500 pounds of aluminum cans. See how it adds up? Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and sign off right now, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys got some information out of this, and I hope you guys can make some money and get some extra money, all that good stuff. And thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, and follow me on here, and there will be more recycling and more how-to videos released. Thanks so much, guys.